Welcome to the last session of teleconference. In our previous two sessions, we discussed two family presentations. One was related to under 5 and another was antenatal case. As we have already highlighted, when you are making a family presentation, give emphasis to the family component or the community management component more. Clinical management is there, at any rate it will come as a part of the total management, but emphasize on the environmental aspect and emphasize on the follow-up aspect in a field situation, follow-up in a field situation, give the investigations what is common or what is there in the national programs, so that routinely those things are done in a peripheral setup like a primary health center or community health center. So keeping the health infrastructure, the peripheral health infrastructure in mind, you plan your case study accordingly when you are making a family presentation. Now coming to the present session, we are planning to utilize this time to have any doubts yours to be cleared. We have taken 2-3 issues which we have planned to discuss. One will be related to how to investigate an outbreak. Then we'll highlight something about the RCH program itself, and also how to write a project, because some of you might not have written a project. So just to help you, those who have written, fine, they can always brush it up, but for the rest of the students, it will help how to write a project. So these are the 3 areas we have highlighted, we have thought of. If anything else you want to be discussed, please start asking the questions so that we can utilize the time accordingly. We have now 2 experts, to my right Professor Pradhan, and to his right Professor Jugal Kishore. So both of them are in our previous sessions. I will request now Dr. Jugal Kishore to tell us more about RCH. Just to tell about Dr. Jugal Kishore, already I have introduced him. He has already authored so many, nearly 3-4 books which are used for the community medicine department in undergraduate curriculum and the postgraduate curriculums. So I think he is the right person to tell us about the RCH 1, RCH 2, and maybe you can tell how it evolved, the program evolved starting from 1950s. Dr. Jugal, please.
Okay, thank you, Jaina. RCH, that is known as Reproductive and Child Health Program, it has a long history. If we want to say about maternal child health in India, then I think we are the oldest country in the world which has started this program in 1951. So I just want to say to students that sometime the question come, evolution of RCH program or family planning program, or sometime they ask target free approach, sometime they ask maternal component of RCH, sometime the question can come on only the child component of the RCH program. Sometime one question come like IMNCI, which is now the part of this RCH program. So there are various questions can come in this RCH program, and I believe that every student should learn this program because it's the biggest program in the country and long history. So I'll just try to highlight some of the important issues, and it's not complete. I'm sure that you can learn from various books, and whatever given in the modules can also help you to learn about RCH. Just I have said that it's the oldest program in the world. Just after our independence in 1947, the Indian government had realized that population is going to be a big problem. So it was started as a national family program, a family planning program in 1951. And after that, as the various techniques of conception keep coming and evolve, like we had this IUD, Lippis, loops, then condom, then oral pills. So subsequently in every 5 years, the program was changed. First time in India, the National Health Policy came in 1983, in which the National Family Planning Program was boosted up. But we have a very interesting history in National Family Planning Program. you must have heard about the fall of the Congress government in 1977, and it was just compulsory vasectomy and tubectomy was started by the government, and that was not accepted by the people, and it was you all know about that history. And because of resistance generated in population, and there was totally no participation of the people, the program has to change its strategy, and from family planning it was changed to National Family Welfare Program. Then it was realized that, you know, in family planning always we are talking about family welfare also, we were talking about, you know, finishing the targets, achieving the targets, and it was realized that the target should not be, you know, fixed. So target-free approach was started in 1996. Then you must have heard that there was international conference on population in Cairo, and internationally there was some momentum was there to have the reproductive rights of the women, and there are many conferences which have generated a kind of environment throughout the world, and India was one of the signatory of those conferences and in conventions. So because of that, the RCH was, you know, conceptualized. It was already like we were having this child survival safe motherhood program, but RCH1 was started in 1997 to 2002. But after that, national population policy in 2000 was passed by the Parliament, and national health policy, the review of national health policy, first policy, which was enacted in 1983, was also reviewed. So we had national health policy 2. Then we had a good achievement of RCH1, and then with the help of various agencies, the RCH2 was launched in 1992 to 2007. Now recently we have, after the coming of this Congress government, they have emphasized more on achievements of various goals and targets and indicator which were suggested in national health policy and also Millennium Development Goal. So the government is committed to that, and a mission, the whole program and various other programs were brought to the mission mode, and under that the National Rural Health Mission was started. So this is the history of National Reproductive and Child Health Program. Now in this program, as you see that at various stages, various component has been added. Previously it was just population stabilization, means the family planning program. But now we have, now today if we say what is there in National Reproductive and Child Health Program, that is population stabilization. That is one component. It's a very, very important component, and you all know that in population stabilization there are indicators which has to be achieved. The couple protection rate should reach to 65%, and in that what services are provided by the government is, you know, permanent sterilization of female and male, also the contraceptive like pills, condom, and in RCH2 what is added is emergency pill and MTP pills are also added. So it's a good thing, although the cafeteria approach which was there previously is still provided, and many research is going on male contraceptive also in this direction. So that part is also included in RCH. Now another component of RCH is maternal health component, in which the obstetric care, and that is comprehensive obstetric care, has been highlighted, in which the first referral unit has been suggested. And what is first referral unit? Sometime one question comes on what is the first referral unit. It is the at community health center level, the whole services should be geared up to handle any emergency case of labor or maternal health. Another component of RCHs are reproductive tract infections and STD, in which the treatment of RTI and STI has been highlighted. Now, this component is also taken up by another program, that is National AIDS Control Program. So both the programs are working as one, and fulfilling the role of health system to provide reproductive and sexual transmitted diseases. The most important component of RCH as far as the child is concerned is neonatal care and child health. Now, recently you must have heard there is another question which is oftenly asked, that is integrated management of neonatal and childhood illness. It was actually suggested by WHO. Later on in India it was modified, and neonatal component has been added. Previously it was just integrated management of childhood illness, but now we have integrated management of neonatal and childhood illness plus. What do you mean by this? That has to be understood. Now in this, what are the services provided in IMNCI? Now government is trying their best to implement this strategy, IMNCI strategy, in which they are providing diarrheal disease control program, the ARI control program, care at birth, immunization of children, behavior change communication for various activities, then generating community participation. Breastfeeding has been highlighted in this IMNCI, and also the polio eradication or immunization. The immunization and polio eradication program is separately dealt with because it's a national requirement. Now I need not to say in detail what is there in diarrheal disease control program and ARI and care at birth and immunization, you all know. Each component can be asked as a short note or maybe the part of the long question. But another component in RCH is adolescent health, and it is already highlighted that adolescent was neglected area previously. Only we were focusing on children or pregnant lady, and the adolescent were left off. But without training or looking after the adolescent, how we can expect the pregnant or say the mother to be educated or good mother? So adolescent component has been added, in which the nutrition of the adolescent, the health need of the adolescent or immunization of the adolescent has been highlighted. Also like the sexual education, the reproductive health of the adolescent is also taken care. Beside this adolescent health and maternal child health, we have other component in RCH. They are also very, very important, like the urban health. We know that in urban areas there are certain pockets in which the population is never covered, like the slums. So the urban health component is taking care of the areas in urban areas where people are not getting proper health services. So RCH is trying to getting those areas or those population which are neglected. Another area which is requiring special emphasis, that is the tribal areas. If we are providing services, the tribal area which is very big amount of the population in India, require a special emphasis because their health services are poor, and if we are not strengthening, definitely our total health indicators in India cannot improve. Now another issue which has been highlighted in reproductive health, that is the gender issues. Now in gender, you all know the adverse sex ratio in India, and if we continue to have adverse sex ratio, we have severe implication as far as the mother or a child health is concerned, and also the total health of the people is concerned. So gender issue has been taken up in a very, very big way, and RCH is linking with other ministries where particularly the female child or the infant, the female infant can be safeguarded. For this, the reservations and many benefits are provided under various schemes, and also we have legislations to curb the problem of female feticide, which is quite prevalent in India. So, and this component is also a part of RCH. Now, another issue in RCH, that is the health equity. We all know that there are certain areas in the community which is not getting proper health services. They need to be given proper health services, particularly the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, or some backward areas. So, in which the health services are not as in other areas, so more emphasis is required in that area. Now, to strengthen all health services, I believe without community participation it's not possible. And for community participation, what RCH is doing, how it can be further strengthened. You all know that we have the health worker female and male. The female particularly has to look after the RCH component. So how she is going in the community and generating the community participation, because this worker is the part of the community, she can deliver much better way. And she is also helping Anganwadi worker. She is also helping the village health DAI is there, trained DAI is there, village health worker is there. And recently we have National Rural Health Mission. So this mission is giving one more worker, that is ASHA. This ASHA is actually accredited social health activist, and she is going to help the health worker female. So through these various health workers, the community participation, and also with the involvement of the NGOs, there is a big way they are trying to generate the community participation for the reproductive and child health. Beside this community participation, I believe the component of behavior change communication is also highlighted in RCH. Then it is also highlighted that how we can develop a public-private partnership. We have, I think, more than 75% of the population going to the private sectors, and if really we want RCH to go to to every house and every woman and child can be safeguarded, the private sector has to come with the aims and objective of the nation. So their involvement is very important, and without incentive they will not come forward and adopt the strategy which is suggested by RCH program. So community participation has been highlighted in this program in various schemes and programs. There is another important issue has been highlighted in RCH, that is the procurement of the various equipment and drugs and logistics. We have so many activities, but if the drugs and logistics are not supplied, you cannot be successful. So that part is also included in RCH to make the RCH successful. And this is also highlighted that beside these workers which are working in RCH, the medical colleges and teaching institutions should also participate in RCH activities, and they should also become the part in monitoring, evaluation, and management information system. Whatever services are provided, they are recorded well and going to the higher center where the data can be analyzed and for that many more activity has been added in RCH program. So you'll see that RCH is, which is very, very important because maximum number of deaths are occurring in childhood, that is before 5 years of age, and mother health is directly linked with total overall health of the country, and that is why it has been one of the objective of RCH is that maternal mortality ratio should go less than 150 in RCH, otherwise in other program and policy it is less than 100 per lakh population, means 1 per 1,000 population. So to achieve this objective, various component has been highlighted, which I have already said, and various activity has been suggested, and I believe that this program is successful if our student of MCH is also taking part actively. That is what I want to say. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Jugalgi sir. He very nicely he has pointed out the important components which are there in RCH. Just I will quickly tell some of them, like population stabilization, maternal health component, child health, obviously it is there, urban health, adolescent health, gender issue, health equity, public-private partnership, behavioral change, logistics and equipment. So all these are important areas which is there in one capsule. Previously we started with family planning, then family welfare, then CSSM, then RCH. So these are the broad areas how it has evolved over time. I think it is there already in your modules. A separate unit is there in RCH, so you can go more details in the through that. Now I will request Dr. Pradhan to tell us that how the students will write the project. At any rate, they are writing in this spell training as a part of the activity, but if you can highlight in 5-10 minutes so that it will help the students. Dr. Pradhan.
Project is a compulsory item for the practical examination in PSM. Substantial weightage is given for the internal assessment for the project, and there is time bound and the deadline also already given when the project to be submitted. So we are almost entering into the end of the posting, and all of you must have collected your data. Now you must be in the process of writing the project. So how the project to be written? That is basically the project should be, you should have some first-hand already experience in the research methodology. So before writing the project, you must have understood how the data is collected, what type of data you have collected. Mostly they have raw data first, then that has to be analyzed, and if you have got any problem, even at this stage, the data, what to do, how to interpret the data, you can take the help of the counselors or the program in charge or any person you feel like under the guidance of the counselors of your area. So in that case, because data has to be handled very carefully. The misinterpretation of the data, wrong calculations can lead to completely, it will spoil the project. You will arrive at different conclusion, and you might give different suggestions, different recommendations, and basic purpose of research will be defeated. So first thing that you want to do when you are writing a report is the step by step telling how it should be, because beautiful to read, it should be comfortable, it should be presentable. So it should not be clumsily submitted or written haphazardly in a hurry. So it should have the various components. At least one is the introduction, second one is the material and methods, and third one is the analysis and the results, and next is the discussion, and finally after the discussion that is the recommendations, suggestions, and last the references you have taken. So one by one I will tell you. The first is the introduction, why you have selected the topic, In introduction, give the importance of the project, the area, how it is relevant to our nation or the community, how important it is. So basic purpose of selecting the topic, and in introduction you can tell about the how is the scenario in our country, how it is from different, is the same in the area where you are working, the state you are working, the place of your work, the geographical location you are situated. Is it same uniform all over the country, or is there any difference between the districts or the states? How, and what is in total, what is the national scene? In that case, or in the what is recommended or target is set if they are by the government, so where your state or the area is lagging behind. So this thing briefly introduction you can give, and what work has been done abroad and how successful experiment if it is done anywhere. So that example can be taken in the introduction, so that similarly you are plan to do this study keeping in mind, and you want to find out any observation in this regard. So basically introduction is the introduction to the topic, what it has happened elsewhere, how is the scene in India, how in various part of the state, how in your district, and that you have to do. Then before then you have to do some review of literature. Review of literature also is important. You must know this thing, what I have told in the introduction, you will get from the review of literature. What is the existing literature available in this topic? The project you have taken, you must find out what is the knowledge available in this regard. So various literature research you have to do relevant to your project, and that it is not difficult. Exercise there either in the library, or you can find out in the internet accessibility is there, or some journals are there. This thing, it can be, it takes time, but it is not impossible or not that difficult to get the review of the literature. So based on that you will find out, write down the introduction. Then the methods you have to write. First you have to set up the objective, then what you want to achieve, that is your specific objectives of the project. You have to enumerate specifically the objectives, what you want to achieve by carrying out this project. So it may be 2, it may be 3, maybe 4 specific objectives, or that is the main objectives you want to achieve. Then material and methods. Then in the material and methods it has to be very specific, and you have to spell out which methods you have applied, the location you are doing, the site, the place of work, the place of the project, whether you are doing the entire study or you are taking a sample, how much is the sample, what sampling method you have taken, how you have arrived at the sample size. So you want to do any project, you have taken a fixed number of observations to be made. So you must spell out why you have limited to that number, how you have arrived, and what is the criteria, either it is total number or it is mainly by the sampling, which type of sampling, how you have done. So that you have to do. Then in this case, in the methodology, then you have to start how you have collected the data, how you are going to collect the data, which setting, how you have got the information about that. Then other thing is the, suppose it is a example, suppose you are taking us on a hospital or the community based study, or you have done any surveys or interviews, whatever methods, you have tools you have applied. So in this case, that you must have already done, you have taken the permission from the offices, cooperation from your colleagues, community leaders in getting the data, and you must after the data are collected, then that data has to be analyzed. The analysis has to be done. It is not, it is there steps in analyzing the data. The total data, then you have to tabulate the data, then you have to either diagram you have to make, chart you have to make, depending on the need, how it can be easily understood by the people who will read your project. Presentation of the data either in the tabular form or in the graphical form or in the chart or diagram or various pictorial presentation you can do. So this thing can be done, and it should be numbered. So numbering of the pages of the project, and numbering of the tables, and numbering of the charts, it should be there. So because you will be writing, refer to chart number this, table number this, page number this. So most of us, we forget when writing the report. Numbering of the pages will be is very important. Numbering of the tables, table 1, table 2, table 3, like that. Chart 1, diagram 2. So this thing has to be there. Then heading has to be there, or title of the table must be mentioned. You are giving a table or diagram, the boldly should be written what you want to present in the table or the diagram. The title, first is the number, table number 1, title of the table. Then various columns will be there, various rows will be there. You have to write in the beginning what you want to, the number specifies in each column or each rows. So this you can take the help of any statistician or any counselors in the institution where you are attached to. The PIC can guide you, the counselors can help you in analyzing and writing the report. Then other thing is after that then you have the result, what you have achieved after carrying out your project. Results will be based on your observations and analysis. The results, ideally it is better that every table, after the table you should write what the table conveys, instead of writing the total findings and the result at the end of the project. So each table and each diagram should have at least 2 to 3 lines what you want to convey, what you have observed in this table or in this analysis in the diagram or table. So first is the title, then the table or the diagram, then 2-3 lines about what you have found in this, applying which type of test you have applied, whether it is percentage or t-test or statistical method, chi-square, any method what you have applied, and whether it is statistically significant or not significant, this you have to mention, if you have applied any statistical methods. Then after that, you have to write something about the discussion. So in the entire project, after you have seen, suppose your objective you have set. So your objective was this, that's why you have done the project. After carrying out the project, after analyzing and seeing the result, then you have to discuss what you have found and whether your findings are similar or it is slightly different, or it is whether you agree or not agree what you had already preconceived in your mind before carrying out the project. So discussion, first is the actual position, what it has happened, then you have to compare whether it is the same or different or why and the reasons. Then sometimes you might find some constraints or problems that you can highlight why you are not able to carry out, or you have successfully carried out. So any problem you faced during this project work. So then last you have to write the name of the references in the end. So which references you have taken in writing out this report. In the front page of the report you must write the cover is the name, title of the project, the institution where you are attached to, then your name and your enrollment number and the year. I repeat, title of the project, institution where you are attached to, your name, your enrollment number and the year of PGDMCH. And then some of you might like to acknowledge. The next page will be acknowledgement. You want to convey some gratitude to the institution where they have permitted to work, as you're in charge of the health center or the community or your family members, your counselors or the authorities in the hospital. So this thing will come in the acknowledgement. Then comes the, I told, introduction, methods, analysis, results, discussions, then references. Introduction will include review of literature. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pradhan. I think he has very briefly covered all components how you write a project. If you write in that order, it will take care of everything, and you also face good marks. I think some of you already might have presented your project in the during your spell training in the medical college itself, and those who have not done the fourth spell, they will be doing it. Please submit the project to the respective departments so that it is evaluated in time, and this forms the part of the your internal evaluation. Now I'll before I go further, I think
center on EduSet.
yes.
A very good afternoon to all the experts sitting on the dais and the EMPC staff who is making it possible for us to be benefited with your expertise today through this teleconference program.
Thank you.
Myself, Dr. Ashok Sharma, Regional Director, IGNOU Regional Center, Khanna,
Yeah.
and I am sorry to inform you that today I have no learner with me at this regional center.
Okay.
And basically, this is the situation that has led me to think that if possible, and if we can record all these live programs in a DVD for distribution among the learners, this will help a lot for these learners who somehow could not manage to attend this teleconference program by visiting any of the regional centers throughout our country. So this is my humble submission and a suggestion to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ashok. I think all the teleconference things are recorded and video is made. So I request the MPC could circulate it in due time. I think for the next batch they will be getting some of the recorded cassettes of 2007 session. The students will get the benefit of that. Just to repeat the announcements.
From Hyderabad.
Yes, Hyderabad. Yes. Okay, I think it got disconnected. Okay, before we, because we have only 5 minutes, should we take up the other topic? Maybe if the steps of outback, because I want to share with the students that when we evaluate the turbine theory examination answer sheets, we find there are some common problems. Students are not reading the question properly. For example, we discussed about the evaluation of MCH. Instead of writing evaluation of MCH, they will be describing what are the components of the RCH. So, RCH is a part of the evaluation process, no doubt. But the whole thrust of the answer should be on the evaluation process itself, rather than the components of the RCH. RCH component, if you describe, maybe you will get 20-30% mark. But if you write the evaluation from the beginning to the end, then you get a better mark. Another problem I find, sometimes you do not adjust to the time. For example, a question, a short question having 6 marks. We are writing, okay, write the levels of prevention. People write 10 pages on levels of prevention, and whereas you will not get more than 6 marks. But if you have 12 marks or 15 marks a question, you have to spend the time proportionately so that you get good marks.
From Hyderabad.
Yeah. Yes, Hyderabad.
Good afternoon, Dr. Jana and the experts. This is Dr. Swaroop.
Yeah.
We have 2 participants listening to the program.
Yes.
And I wish to inform that the 4th batch at our Gandhi Medical College, they are over.
Yeah.
And will you please repeat the practical examination information you have given at the beginning of this session once more?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll again repeat for the information of the practical examination. Regarding practical examination, because in PGDMCH you have to submit a completion certificate. Students can submit the completion certificate only when they complete all the SDC activity, and they get the signature from the SDC counselor and the PIC counselors. Therefore, for PGDMCH program, submission of the practical term and exemption form will be November 7th, as it is mentioned in the program guide. So just like previous years, The practical tournament form will be submitted by the students to the program in charge directly. They will use the old forms. The new form will be applicable for some other programs and for the theory part of the PGDMCs also. So for theory form, students can fill up the present form and submit 50 rupees per course or per paper, and it will go to Registrar SRED at headquarters, New Delhi. For practical, you have to fill up the old form which is there in the program guide, submit it to the program in charge with 50 rupees per course. This is what in addition, so you have to pay 50 rupees per course. That means if you are taking all the 3 papers, then you have to pay 150 rupees in form of draft or IPO as applicable for the theory. So you submit this amount to the PIC. The program in charge will submit to the headquarters. We have informed that this process can be facilitated by the school. So the program in charge can consolidate all the forms for the center and they can send after November 7th to the program coordinator or to the School of Health Science, and the school can coordinate at the headquarter level. This is what we have discussed with the SRE division, and this is the guideline for practical component of the PGDMC's program. I think from Ranchi we have got the facts also that there are 4 students attending at the regional center Ranchi. So I thank the students at Ranchi also. I think they are regularly attending all the teleconferences, but there are no questions. I hope the students are enjoying the teleconferences. But in future I can request all the regional centers also, let the students be encouraged to ask questions so that it become more interactive, and the students listening in the other regional center, they also start asking questions. I think in Delhi we have also 5-6 students and 2 also presented the case discussion for the benefit of the other students of the whole nation. Because there is not much time, so we will not go to the other topics that we had planned. But I will request the students, they can intimate the other colleagues who have not attended this teleconference, so that the filling up of the form gets smoothly. I thank Dr. Jugal Kishore and Dr. S.K. Pradhan being here and nicely covering all the topics. And we will take care of the video as requested by Karnal Regional Center. I think from the next batch, we will give some of the CDs to the regional centers and to the PICs. For the students, I think they have to duplicate it, or they have to ask for the CD directly to the EMPC. They can purchase it separately, but from IGNOU side, we will supply it to the Program Study Center and to the regional centers. I thank all the viewers, the regional centers, the students who are participating in the teleconferences, and the students who are attending it from different regional centers, and all the staff here. I thank again for all the students and the participants. Thank you all.